just joining us on the podcast, this is Mayor Mitch Colvin, and once again, I did not put the audio in. Do it. Well, that's not it.
Of the guest. I'm stalling you over. You got it ready?
Yeah, he's got audio now.
All right, you're on.
Yeah. But the thing is, I was scrambling here. I should get the audio put in here first. But Mr. Mayor, how are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You said that you wanted to come in early because we got several things highlights. First of all, let's start talking about the Goodyear plant, and
Right.
I need to know that is not in the city's limits. Is it or not?
Well, back when, predates me, of course. Of course, we know that that area is certainly considered Fayetteville, but for whatever reason, the previous administration or decisions were made that it was not annexed in, and so city limit stops just short of that campus. But the people who work there, majority of them are Fayetteville residents. The economic impact that Goodyear brought to our community will certainly be felt by the city of Fayetteville, no doubt.
Now, there was a memo sent out by Goodyear that it says they may close or it's definite, because I'm under pressure. We've been down this road where there's been negotiation. The union wants a certain thing, and then there's leverage, and then Goodyear or Kelly Springfield at the time said we're just going to shut the thing down, and so people are looking for leverage. Is this one the one?
Well, it's hard to say, because what we got initially was that they were in negotiations, and of course, like you said, that's every 3, 4, 5 years that the union and Goodyear negotiate. This time, what was different is they came behind it and said, we're negotiating the closure, and they gave a date. And so I don't recall ever being to this point. So, only they can answer those questions. We'll do all we can to, the city is really limited on incentives that it can offer because it doesn't receive any tax revenues from it. Now, the county, on the other hand, we've got a meeting, city-county economic development, FTCC, about what the plan is and how it is that we prepare for this. But a bigger conversation is this is I think the only U.S. tire manufacturer left that manufactures in the country, and so the tires manufacturing has changed. This has been a stable employer since the 60s and 70s, and so the economy in the world economy is changing, and we've got to make sure we're ready to change with it.
Well, and I'm sure this is not a question for you, but you have guys who have retired from there, who have pensions. I'm sure that will continue to go on. We hopefully that the financing for all that is perpetual, so that it doesn't disrupt anyone's retirement money that they get from there. But the point is, we're at the point where this impacts Fayetteville. It may not be in the city limits, but as you mentioned, many of the employees there live in the city limits, and it's one of the higher paying jobs in Cumberland County, and has been for many, many years.
Right, absolutely. 1,700 people will be impacted if they move forward with this decision. And like you said, it's been a stable employer that paid above average wages. It had great health benefits. A lot of people that we knew would go and work there and retire from there and have those pensions that they spend and they live in our community. So we've got to, our economic team, I got a lot of confidence in them that if the decision is made to do it, this does present a great opportunity to reprogram that site. I think it's about a 2 million square foot site. I received some inquiries yesterday from some companies that have been tracking this, saying we have an interest potentially in a site similar or in this location. Also, too, some of the things I want to bring up.
Well, before you do that site is a perfect site for a data center. But I'll go ahead. I'll let you go on. Right. Is that under consideration?
Well, you're taking my thunder, man. Okay. So look,
I should be mayor.
Our community. We've talked about that. You don't want to get annexed.
No, I don't. That's right.
But listen, we cannot afford as a tier 1 community to pick and choose and to ignore the advancement of technology. A data center in and around that site that is in close proximity to where the titanium site will go. It needs high infrastructure. It needs power and water and natural gas delivery. This could be an excellent opportunity to reprogram that entire campus. Data centers are combining with manufacturers. NVIDIA and Meta have partnerships with Corning, a manufacturer, and they're looking for sites in North Carolina to where they bring 2,000 or 3,000 jobs in that's in close proximity to a data center for just those same reasons. And so we've got to be forward thinking. We've got to be reasonable. And 1,700 families have to figure out what they're going to do in about a year and a half.
Yeah, look, we're going to get off this subject in a second here, but the only difference is the fact that that data center may involve a lot of people to build it, but once it's up and operating, it's not going to employ 1,700 people.
Not necessarily. So if there's a partnership like NVIDIA and Corning or Meta and Corning, you can look it up. They have data center sites in both North Carolina. They're looking for North Carolina, possibly Hickory, Newton, Winston-Salem, or Concord. They bring the jobs. The advanced manufacturing brings the jobs, 2,000 or 3,000 jobs, which would actually be more than what we lose here. Not to mention the titanium center's jobs of 300 six-figure jobs, and then the data center jobs, the 50 to 75 jobs that will remain are engineering jobs, and they're six-figure jobs.
All right, we're going to hold you over here for a second, take a little bit of break right now. 7:24 on WFNC. We got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Our early morning showers have come to an end, so the rest of Thursday will have gradually clearing skies and a high of 76. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 50, and Friday will be mostly sunny with a high of 80. Temperatures will continue to climb quickly through the end of the week, setting up a warm weekend with high temperatures in the 90s. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, 65 right now in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and Fort Bragg. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC.
Proud to be your hometown news and information source for 4 decades. News Talk 640 WFNC. Just say, Alexa, play WFNC.
Now playing News Talk 640 WFNC.
Basketball fans, this is gonna be huge, baby! The United Way Classic, presented by Cape Fear Valley Health, tips off Friday, June 12th at 7:05 at the Crown Coliseum. Fort Bragg going head-to-head with our local police and fire. Big-time action, an electric environment, and an unforgettable halftime show. All tickets just $10. First come, first serve. When they're gone, they're gone.
Get your tickets now at the box office or UnitedWayCC.org. 100% of the proceeds support local charities right here in Cumberland County.
Go to the WFNC website right now.
Because Hooters is the sweet deal of the week.
Sweet Hooters, girls. And a sweet deal.
Oh, yeah. Hooters is your occasion headquarters.
Every Monday is Burger Monday. Hooters Original Cheeseburger, curly fries, tea, or Pepsi, just $9.99. Monday and Wednesday, it's BOGO Wings. Buy 10 wings, any style, and get 10 boneless wings free. You love seafood? Come in for Seafood Sunday. Have prices on all seafood. All day long while supplies last. Get there early. Dine in only. Plus 50-cent wings every weekday, 4 to 6 p.m. Saturdays, kids eat free till 6 p.m.
Only at Hooters.
Delightfully tacky, yet unrefined.
Great food, cold drinks, and your favorite Hooters girls serving up the fun all day long. Hooters is the WFNC Sweet Deal of the Week. Log on now. You can score $50 to spend at Hooters for only $25. You heard right, $50 for just $25. Hooters is the Sweet Deal of the Week.
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Good morning, Fayetteville with Gilbert Bays. On WFNZ. News Talk 640 AM and now at 103.5 HD2. Your information crossroads. WFNZ.
The Rubber Band Man. You see the correlation between the Goodyear rubber tire? See?
It's amazing how I do that.
You have to watch Kenny. He's liable to do anything on us.
The Rubber Man Band can.
Yeah. Mitch Colvin is our guest right now. Good morning, Fayetteville at 7:28. Came in a little bit early here to talk about a number of things. We just hashed around the thing about Goodyear closing down.
Right.
Let's move on to something else.
All right. Something more positive.
Well, what do you got?
Well, last week before last, I presented for consideration to City Council to look into a convention center for downtown. We had talked about that. The county is they're making an aggressive move to build up 301 out with redoing the Crown Arena or the theater as well as kind of building into a sports complex. And so the development of downtown and the drivers of downtown Fayetteville, I think the city should lead the way in that. We've already made the investments with the baseball stadium some years ago. It's a great economic driver, but it only has 70 home games programmed. So you have 200 plus days a year that you don't have that driver. And, certainly the Woodpeckers and now Diamond Holdings will operate and bring other events in there, but we need another driver. Research has shown that these stadiums combined with convention centers and hotels really program that into a year-round use, and it really drives the economic activity. So, made the pitch to council unanimously. They went along with it. Now what we'll do is we'll ask the county for any of their research that they did while they were looking at a performing arts. There was certainly economic evidence that showed that a hotel would certainly work beside some type of a economic driver. But Gilbert, we miss a number of association and trade meetings here in the community because we just don't have the facilities, and we're the only city with over 200,000 people that doesn't have one.
Well, what happened to the plan to put a hotel on top of the parking deck over at Segra Stadium?
It's still there. It was combined with apartments. And so now what happens is now that the council has said, look at this, we get back with a developer who was going to do that and say, how does this fit into your plans? Would that help actually enhance this hotel over there if there was a convention center located in or around Segra Stadium or around that project?
Well, and I guess that's the question. Where are we looking to do something? We had that parking lot that was supposed to be the event center. Was it event center is what it's called?
Yeah.
Right. And now it's going to be a parking lot again temporarily until the county figures out what they're going to do with it. So we're landlocked in terms of where we can put stuff. And is it going to be down? You're looking to do something downtown.
I think what you have to do is you have to again, just like we talked about with Goodyear, right? You can't take an old model and look toward the future and use that. And so I think we're just like any other downtown. There are buildings that are going to have to be removed. You're not going to be able to preserve and grow without removing or changing the way the landscape is. Certainly can't speak to what the county's position was with the parking lot, but there were some other things programmed close by there. So, get a professional urban design team in. That's what the council authorized, the feasibility study. They will tell us the best, the pros and cons of whether it's a Hay Street that's something close by the stadium, or whether it is something that anchors in on the other end where they were going to do that. But what we can't do is allow downtown, the future of downtown development to be left to the county, because their capital projects have been moved away from downtown for a number of years.
Well, of course, they're looking at, you got Godwin, you have Eastover, you have a lot of things that the county are concerned with that the city doesn't have to be concerned with. Right. I remember when we put the new transit center downtown, you knocked down the whole block except for, was there one building that stayed? Or no, we knocked down that whole block.
Yeah, the whole block.
We knocked down the block.
Down.
Right.
Same thing with the Airborne Museum. It used to be Garrett's Funeral Home, taxi stands, and all that. And so sometimes you just have to do that. You can't preserve everything. And so, but let the professionals, the urban design folks, tell us where and how we can best activate that.
All right. You had a city council meeting when, and you got some stuff on that you want to chat about?
Yeah, we had a meeting Monday. We've got budget today, so we start that process about how it is that we meet all the needs and the demands, how we continue to grow and keep the city's revenues moving forward. So we'll do that today. This is one of 3 or 4 budget work sessions that start at 10 o'clock today and this morning. And then we had a meeting on Monday, which gave us a recap. We had some of the boards that presented to us, particularly our economic development and community development board. So we're reloaded up our grant program, trying to get more money out into the community with some of our programs that we partner with. But today is very important because this is about the police and public safety budget. This is about some of our economic development incentive plans. We have a couple of companies that are looking to come here that are asking for certain things. And so, we've got to set our money aside to make sure that our community is competitive.
This is a significant weekend for the city of Fayetteville. The renaming of Fayetteville, well, not the renaming, the naming of Fayetteville that happened 1883. Yeah. So that's going to be taking place. We're going to have some folks in here talking about that tomorrow. The celebration's happening at the Lafayette Plaza, which is across from what used to be the Wachovia building, or depending on how long you've been there.
Now it's the Dogwood.
It's the Dogwood building, yeah. So, but that's going to be happening, and all this is part of the 250th anniversary of the country.
Yeah.
As you look back and reminisce, or even think about the progress that Fayetteville's made. I mean, we were just talking about investing an awful lot of money to do even more to the market house and everything. Your thoughts as we get ready to get through this celebration?
Certainly that's going to. Dr. Hank Parfit has taken that task on to make sure that we're educated about the founders and the namesake of this city. And so, as we look back at not only Fayetteville's existence for 200 years, but the country's 250-year anniversary, we see that we've made a lot of progress. We still have a ways to go. I think some of the things that we've struggled with in the past, some of the racial and the equality pieces are still conversations today. But we can get through it. I'm proud of where my city is and proud of where we're headed. And I think that it'll take forward thinking to put us in great position for the next 200.
You've been talking about some of these issues for some time. How's the new board, council adjusting to getting on board with the budget? Because in talking with Doug Hewitt, he says this is all we're going to be dealing with. I think is it his presentation today that he will be presenting the budget?
Yeah, the budget's broken down into several pieces. So today we'll cover some of the things they want to do for employees and some of the ways that they propose to fund it. So of course, this is only a recommended budget that the manager presents to us. We'll dig in, get up under the hood. We have 3 new members that probably haven't gone through the budget process. One may have, but today we'll give an opportunity for us to ask our questions and to vet what's being presented.
When's the next city council meeting?
It will be the 4th Monday, which is not this coming up Monday, but the following Monday.
And lastly here, I guess we got about a minute or so. Anything else you want to drive home from?
No, yeah. I think we've got it.
The relationship with Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
There's still talk about closing down Stryker, maybe building a school out there with the Department of Defense education folks as opposed to E.E. Smith. Are you satisfied with the E.E. Smith thing since you're alumni?
I didn't really support it going to Stryker. I think that it was too big of a community anchor and pillar for it to be moved to Bragg Boulevard to the northern tip. Now, if Fort Bragg chooses to put a school out there, that's out of my decision making capability. But I think the new E. Smith should be a new innovative school built somewhere along the Murchison Road corridor.
Okay. Well, look, Mayor Mitch Colvin always comes in on Thursday. We appreciate having here. A lot of discussion here, a lot of stuff that we have to keep our eyes on, especially with the Goodyear plant, seeing how that really shakes out.
All right.
You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsey.
Our early morning showers have come to an end, so the rest of Thursday will have gradually clearing skies and a high of 76. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a low of 50, and Friday will be mostly sunny with a high of 80. Temperatures will continue to climb quickly through the end of the week, setting up a warm weekend with high temperatures in the 90s. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Rachel, thank you. 64 degrees in Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and also in Pembroke. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC.
This report is sponsored by Noble